You were born with a spark inside you, a unique combination of talents, skills, and qualities that no one else on this planet possesses in exactly the same way. From the moment you took your first breath, there was potential encoded in your very existence, a potential that far exceeds the ordinary, the average, and the expected. Too many people spend their entire lives blind to this truth, settling for the mediocre because they never truly pause to see what lies within them. But the reality is that every person, without exception, carries within them the seeds of greatness. It is not something that is taught in schools, not something that is handed down in ordinary conversations, but it is a truth that resides deep in your heart, waiting for you to awaken it, acknowledge it, and bring it into full expression. Recognizing your unique potential requires a willingness to look inward, to spend time understanding your strengths, your passions, and the dreams that stir in your heart when no one else is watching. It is not enough to simply know that you can do better. You must feel it, see it, and embrace it with conviction. Many people underestimate themselves because they compare themselves to others. They look at someone else's achievements, someone else's talent, someone else's life story, and they forget that no one else was born to do what they were born to do. Comparison is the thief of joy and the enemy of growth because it draws attention away from your own path and your own extraordinary abilities. The truth is, no one else can walk your journey. No one else can fulfill your mission, and no one else can impact the world in the exact way you are meant to. Your potential is unique, and it is enormous. To recognize it, you must begin to observe yourself with honesty and courage. Reflect on the moments when you have felt alive, when time seemed to disappear, when challenges were met with creativity, resilience, or joy. Those moments are clues, evidence of your natural abilities and the special gifts you were designed to express. Every individual has those moments if they are willing to notice them, to embrace them, and to let them guide the decisions they make. It is a matter of becoming conscious of your potential rather than leaving it dormant. When you understand that you are capable of so much more than you have allowed yourself to believe, it changes the way you approach life. Every action, every choice, and every goal becomes infused with purpose because it is aligned with something greater inside of you. Recognizing your potential also means rejecting the voices that tell you otherwise. Many people grow up with messages that are discouraging, that limit what they believe is possible. They are told they are ordinary, average, or not good enough. They are conditioned to accept mediocrity as their fate. But the reality is that those messages are lies, external influences that have no power over your true essence unless you allow them to. You have the power to see past them, to refuse to accept them, and to claim your own extraordinary nature. It is not arrogance or selfishness to recognize your potential, it is honesty. It is the acknowledgement that you are capable of achieving things far beyond the ordinary because you were not created to be average. It is also essential to understand that recognizing your potential is not a one-time event. It is a process, a journey of self-discovery that continues throughout your life. As you grow, as you learn, as you encounter challenges and opportunities, your understanding of your abilities expands. Every new skill acquired, every obstacle overcome, every dream pursued with courage reveals more of what you are capable of. Your potential is not static, it is dynamic, constantly evolving as you evolve. And the more you actively engage with it, the more fully you bring it into the world, the greater your impact becomes, not only in your own life, but in the lives of everyone around you. To awaken your potential, you must also embrace the idea that greatness is possible for you. You must believe that what seems impossible today can be achieved tomorrow if you are willing to stretch, to grow, and to act with intention. The human mind and spirit are designed for limitless growth, and when you tap into that energy, you begin to see possibilities where others see obstacles. Recognizing your potential means claiming it, nurturing it, and refusing to settle for anything less than what you were meant to achieve. It is a declaration that your life matters, that your gifts are important, and that the world is waiting for you to step into your true power. One of the greatest obstacles that stands between you and your extraordinary life is the set of limiting beliefs that have been instilled in your mind over the years. These beliefs are subtle, yet powerful, shaping the way you think, the way you act, and the outcomes you experience. They are the invisible chains that hold you back, convincing you that you are not enough, that you cannot achieve greatness, and that your dreams are unattainable. They whisper lies in your ear, telling you to settle, to conform, to play small, and to accept mediocrity as your lot in life. Yet the truth is that these beliefs are not reality. They are simply ideas that you have accepted without question, ideas that can be examined, challenged, and replaced with the truth of who you really are. Breaking free from limiting beliefs begins with awareness. You must become conscious of the thoughts and stories you tell yourself, the mental patterns that have been repeating over and over, quietly influencing your decisions and your sense of self-worth. Many people live their entire lives on autopilot, repeating the same negative self-talk, the same doubts, the same fears, and wonder why they never reach the level of success or fulfillment they desire. But when you pause and observe your thoughts, you can begin to identify the specific beliefs that are holding you back. Perhaps you were told you were not smart enough, talented enough, or fortunate enough. Perhaps circumstances in your past seem to confirm that you were destined to live an ordinary life. Whatever the source, these beliefs are not facts. They are interpretations that can be challenged and changed. The next step in breaking free is to understand the power of choice. You have the ability to decide which beliefs you will accept and which you will reject. This is a profound realization because it places the responsibility for your life squarely in your own hands. No one can live your life for you, and no one else can determine your potential except you. Every extraordinary achievement, every life transformed begins with someone choosing to refuse the limitations that were imposed on them, choosing to believe in possibilities that others could not see, and choosing to act on the vision of what they could become. Limiting beliefs only have power when you give them power. When you consciously choose to challenge them, to replace them with empowering beliefs, and to act as if your potential is unlimited, you begin to experience freedom that can change the trajectory of your life. Changing limiting beliefs also requires repetition and reinforcement. The mind does not instantly accept new ideas. It clings to old patterns because they are familiar. You must consistently feed your mind with empowering thoughts, affirmations, and evidence that support your potential and your ability to achieve greatness. Surround yourself with people, experiences, and knowledge that inspire you, that expand your vision, and that reinforce the belief that you are capable of extraordinary things. Every time you see someone succeed, every time you learn something new, every time you step outside of your comfort zone, you are proving to yourself that the limitations you once believed in are false, that they are not inherent truths, but rather challenges to overcome. It is equally important to recognize that fear and doubt are often disguised forms of limiting beliefs. Fear tells you that failure is inevitable, that rejection is permanent, or that you are not worthy of success. Doubt whispers that you are not ready, not capable, or not deserving. Both are natural, but neither is accurate. By examining these fears and doubts, by questioning their validity, and by taking action in spite of them, you gradually weaken their influence over your life. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to act despite fear, and it is one of the most powerful tools you have in breaking free from the mental chains that hold you back. Finally, breaking free from limiting beliefs is not only about personal achievement, it is about expanding your identity. When you refuse to accept the limitations imposed on you by others or by circumstance, you begin to see yourself in a new light. You begin to see yourself as someone capable of greatness, someone who can create opportunities where none exist, someone who can rise above challenges and exceed expectations. Every belief you shed, every limitation you overcome, is a step toward becoming the person you were truly meant to be, a person who lives boldly, courageously, and without apology. Vision is the invisible force that shapes reality, the mental blueprint that directs your thoughts, actions, and ultimately the life you create. Without vision, life drifts aimlessly, goals are vague, and potential remains dormant. But when you cultivate a clear and compelling vision, you activate a force within yourself that aligns every decision, every effort, and every action toward the fulfillment of your highest possibilities. Vision is more than just seeing what you want in your mind. It is the ability to imagine, feel, and believe in a future that does not yet exist, and to allow that image to pull you forward with energy, focus, and determination. Those who live extraordinary lives understand that vision is the foundation of success, the key that unlocks doors that would otherwise remain closed. The first step in harnessing the power of vision is clarity. Most people live in a fog of uncertainty, unsure of what they truly want or what they are capable of achieving. They react to circumstances rather than create them. But vision requires precision. You must define, in vivid detail, what you want your life to look like, what achievements you desire, what kind of person you want to become, and how you want to impact the world. The clearer your vision, the more effectively it can serve as a compass, guiding every thought and decision. A vague desire produces vague results. A detailed, emotionally compelling vision, on the other hand, becomes a magnet that draws opportunities, ideas, and resources toward you. When you can see it, feel it, and believe in it, you begin to act as though it is already possible, and that energy changes everything. Vision also operates on the principle of alignment. Your actions, habits, and daily choices must align with your vision for it to manifest. Many people fail to achieve what they desire, not because their dreams are too big, but because their daily actions contradict their ultimate goals. A powerful vision demands that you live intentionally, that every step you take, every decision you make, reflects the direction in which you want to go. It requires commitment, discipline, and sometimes sacrifice. It demands that you say no to distractions, negative influences, and temporary comforts that pull you away from your path. When your actions align with your vision, momentum builds, progress accelerates, and your dreams begin to crystallize into reality. Another essential aspect of vision is emotional connection. It is not enough to simply have a logical understanding of your goals. You must feel them deeply. Emotion is the fuel that drives persistence, resilience, and creativity. When you attach powerful feelings, joy, excitement, purpose to your vision, it becomes irresistible. You begin to act with passion and determination, and the challenges that once seemed insurmountable become opportunities for growth. The stronger your emotional connection to your vision, the more likely you are to persevere when setbacks occur, to innovate when obstacles arise, and to continue moving forward when the world doubts you. Vision is not just an idea, it is a feeling, a calling, a magnetic force that pulls you toward your best life. Vision also requires imagination. The future you desire does not exist yet, so you must be willing to see beyond the limitations of your current circumstances. Many people fail because they limit their thinking to what seems possible based on what they already see. Vision asks you to expand your mind, to imagine what could be, to dream boldly without apology. It challenges you to break free from conventional thinking and to explore possibilities that others cannot even conceive. Imagination is the bridge between the life you have and the life you want. It allows you to visualize solutions, strategies, and opportunities that will guide you toward your goals. The more detailed and expansive your imagination, the more your vision grows in power, drawing you closer to the reality you desire. Finally, vision is contagious and transformational. When you hold a strong vision, you inspire others to believe in possibilities beyond their own limitations. You become a beacon of what can be achieved, not only for yourself, but for those around you. Your vision creates energy, momentum, and alignment, influencing relationships, collaborations, and even the environment in which you operate. Those who cultivate a powerful vision are not just creating their own success, they are creating a ripple effect, empowering others to elevate their own lives and to see what is possible when ordinary thinking is replaced by extraordinary imagination and intentional action. Taking full responsibility for your life is one of the most powerful decisions you can ever make. It is the recognition that no one else controls your destiny, no one else determines your worth, and no one else decides the direction of your future. Many people spend their lives blaming circumstances, other people, or even fate for where they are, and in doing so, they give away their power. When you take responsibility, you reclaim that power and step into your true potential. It is a declaration that you are the author of your life story, the captain of your ship, and the creator of your own destiny. Without this mindset, your vision and potential remain untapped because you are waiting for someone or something outside yourself to make things happen. And the truth is, life responds only to those who act, those who take ownership, and those who refuse to let excuses define them. Taking responsibility begins with an honest assessment of where you are and how you arrived there. It requires self-reflection, humility, and courage. You must look at your past decisions, your habits, your mindset, and your choices without judgment or blame. Many people avoid this because it can be uncomfortable. It is easier to say, I was born into difficult circumstances, or I had bad luck, than to admit that some of their choices contributed to their current reality. But the power of responsibility lies precisely in this honesty. When you acknowledge your role in creating the life you currently live, you also acknowledge that you have the power to change it. No one else can do it for you. The moment you accept this truth, you stop being a victim and start being a creator. And that shift in mindset is the foundation of extraordinary living. Taking responsibility also means embracing the consequences of your actions, both good and bad. Every decision you make has an outcome, and extraordinary people understand this. They do not shy away from accountability. They own their successes as well as their mistakes. When things go wrong, they ask themselves what they could have done differently and use that knowledge to grow stronger. They do not waste time blaming others or circumstances. Instead, they focus on solutions, on learning, and on moving forward with greater wisdom. This willingness to be accountable sets them apart because it cultivates resilience, confidence, and integrity. Responsibility is not a burden, it is a privilege because it gives you control over your future and the ability to shape your destiny in alignment with your highest vision. Another crucial aspect of responsibility is the understanding that your life is the result of your choices, not your conditions. Circumstances do not define you, your response to them does. You may face challenges, setbacks, or failures, but these do not have to dictate the rest of your story. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity for growth when you take responsibility. You can choose to see problems as excuses or as lessons, limitations, or stepping stones, endings, or beginnings. The way you respond to what happens around you determines your trajectory far more than the events themselves. Extraordinary people are those who refuse to be defined by what happens to them. They define themselves by how they respond, how they act, and how they persist despite difficulties. Taking responsibility also extends to your thoughts and emotions. Too often, people blame external events for how they feel, yet emotional control is a fundamental part of ownership. You have the ability to choose your attitude, your perspective, and the mental framework through which you interpret every situation. Negative thinking, self-doubt, fear, and resentment are often the result of refusing to take responsibility for your inner world. When you acknowledge that you have the power to manage your thoughts and emotions, you gain clarity, focus, and the ability to act in alignment with your vision. Responsibility empowers you to decide what you accept, what you reject, and what you allow to influence your life. Finally, taking responsibility is the key to freedom and growth. When you stop blaming others, stop waiting for circumstances to change, and stop making excuses, you unlock a level of personal power that most people never experience. You become proactive rather than reactive, intentional rather than passive, and unstoppable rather than ordinary. Responsibility transforms your mindset from helplessness to empowerment, from limitation to possibility, and from average to extraordinary. Discipline and action are the bridges that connect your potential and your vision to tangible results. Talent, intelligence, and dreams alone are not enough to create an extraordinary life. They remain dormant unless they are paired with consistent effort and deliberate execution. Many people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack the discipline to persist when the excitement fades, when challenges arise, or when the world seems indifferent to their goals. Discipline is the foundation upon which success is built, and action is the vehicle that carries you toward the life you desire. Without these two elements working together, even the greatest ideas and the boldest visions remain just that, ideas and visions. Discipline is more than simply following rules or sticking to a schedule. It is a commitment to yourself and your purpose. It is the ability to choose what is most important over what is easiest, to prioritize long-term success over immediate comfort, and to stay focused on your objectives even when distractions, temptations, or setbacks appear. It is the inner strength that allows you to rise early, work diligently, practice relentlessly, and push beyond the boundaries of what you thought was possible. Discipline is the consistent application of effort day after day, regardless of mood, circumstances, or external validation. It is the habit of excellence, the refusal to settle, and the understanding that small, consistent actions compound into extraordinary results over time. Action, on the other hand, is the outward expression of your discipline. It is the manifestation of your intentions, the step-by-step execution of your plans, and the willingness to move forward, even when the path is uncertain. Many people have big dreams but remain stagnant because they wait for the perfect moment or the right opportunity. But extraordinary individuals understand that action is the catalyst for results. Every step you take, no matter how small, builds momentum and creates progress. Action generates energy, confidence, and clarity. It transforms fear into experience, uncertainty into knowledge, and vision into reality. Without action, discipline is impotent, and potential remains locked away in your mind, unexpressed and untapped. Discipline and action are intertwined. Discipline ensures that you take action even when you do not feel like it, when obstacles arise, or when immediate results are not visible. Action reinforces discipline by creating habits, learning opportunities, and results that motivate you to continue. Together, they form a feedback loop of growth, persistence, and achievement. The more disciplined your approach, the more effective your actions become. The more action you take, the stronger your discipline grows. This synergy is the engine of extraordinary success, and it is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Consistency is the secret ingredient. Discipline is not about occasional bursts of effort. It is about showing up, day after day, in alignment with your goals and vision. Extraordinary people understand that the journey to greatness is not a sprint but a marathon, and they embrace the process of steady, persistent work. They understand that setbacks, failures, and challenges are not signs to quit, but opportunities to refine their methods, learn, and grow stronger. Consistent action, fueled by unwavering discipline, transforms obstacles into stepping stones, resistance into momentum, and ordinary efforts into extraordinary results over time. Another critical aspect of discipline and action is self-control. It is the ability to say no to distractions, temptations, and activities that do not serve your purpose. It is the ability to delay gratification and prioritize what is essential for your growth. Most people fail because they give in to immediate pleasure, social pressure, or fear of discomfort. Discipline is the conscious choice to resist the easy path and to embrace the path that leads to lasting achievement. It is the daily practice of putting your vision above convenience, your purpose above procrastination, and your potential above comfort. Taking massive, consistent action is also about courage. It requires stepping into the unknown, facing fear, and pushing beyond the limitations that once held you back. Action without courage is timid and tentative, but when combined with disciplined focus, it becomes unstoppable. Each step taken builds confidence, each challenge faced strengthens resilience, and each accomplishment fuels the desire to continue moving forward. Those who live extraordinary lives understand that talent alone is insufficient. It is disciplined, persistent action that transforms dreams into reality. Finally, discipline and action are not negotiable if you desire to rise above average. They are the non-negotiable pillars upon which achievement, impact, and legacy are built. Without them, potential remains unrealized, vision remains distant, and opportunity slips away. With them, you gain the power to shape your life, influence others, and create extraordinary results from ordinary circumstances. To live above average is not merely to achieve personal success, it is to leave a legacy that outlives you, a mark on the world that inspires, empowers, and transforms others long after you are gone. Legacy is the natural extension of a life lived with purpose, vision, discipline, and courage. It is the understanding that your actions, your choices, and the values you uphold ripple far beyond your immediate surroundings, influencing lives, shaping communities, and setting a standard for those who come after you. Most people think of legacy as something reserved for the famous, the wealthy, or the historically significant, but the truth is that every life can leave a lasting impact if lived intentionally. To leave a legacy is to recognize that your existence is not merely about consumption, comfort, or convenience, but about contribution, influence, and meaning. Leaving a legacy begins with clarity of purpose. Extraordinary people understand that their life is not random, it is a mission. They do not live simply to survive, to pass time, or to satisfy immediate desires. Instead, they identify the values, passions, and principles that define them, and they align every action with that purpose. They ask themselves questions such as, what do I want to be remembered for? And how can my life serve others in a meaningful way? Purpose-driven living automatically extends beyond self-interest because when you focus on contribution, you think about the long-term effects of your choices and the positive influence you can have on the world. A legacy is not measured by material wealth alone, but by the ideas you champion, the lives you touch, and the inspiration you provide for others to rise above average and reach their potential. One of the most powerful ways to leave a legacy is through mentorship and empowerment. When you invest in people, guiding them, encouraging them, and challenging them to be their best selves, you extend your influence far beyond your own capabilities. The lessons you impart, the example you set, and the encouragement you provide become seeds that grow in the hearts and minds of others. A single conversation, a word of guidance, or an act of support can ignite transformation in someone else's life, and that ripple effect multiplies over time. Those who leave extraordinary legacies understand that the true measure of influence is not in personal accolades, but in the empowerment and elevation of others. When you lift others as you rise, your impact is amplified, and your life becomes a source of inspiration for generations to come. Legacy also involves resilience in the face of adversity. Life will inevitably present challenges, setbacks, and obstacles, and the way you respond to these trials shapes the story you leave behind. People who live above average are remembered not simply for their achievements, but for their character, their courage, and their refusal to quit. How you handle adversity becomes a blueprint for others, a demonstration of what is possible when determination, integrity, and perseverance guide your actions. A legacy is not built in times of comfort alone. It is forged in the fires of challenge and sustained by the decisions you make when circumstances are difficult. Every act of resilience, every instance of choosing integrity over convenience, strengthens the foundation of a legacy that inspires others to follow in your footsteps. Another key aspect of leaving a legacy is vision that extends beyond your lifetime. Extraordinary individuals think in terms of generational impact, long-term influence, and enduring contribution. They consider how their actions today will shape the future, not just for themselves, but for their family, community, and even society at large. They understand that true greatness is measured not by temporary recognition or fleeting success, but by the lasting difference made in the lives of others. A legacy-driven mindset transforms decisions from short-term convenience to long-term significance. It asks the question, will this matter 5, 10, 50 years from now? And aligns every choice with enduring value. Integrity, service, and inspiration form the pillars of a lasting legacy. When your life is grounded in principles, committed to serving others, and aimed at inspiring greatness in those around you, you create a chain of influence that cannot easily be broken. The stories, teachings, and examples you leave behind become reference points for future generations, guiding them toward excellence, courage, and contribution. Legacy is the culmination of a life lived with intentionality, not for personal gain alone, but for the greater good. It transforms ordinary existence into extraordinary significance because it ensures that your impact continues even when you are no longer present in the physical world.